going to get up here because you guys can't see me down there. All right, so I really do appreciate you guys coming. I realize there's an awesome Miku concert going on right now, and I'm not quite as cute as her. But
yes, you are!
maybe if I was a real Kuriboh, there'd be competition, but not really. I want to share with you guys a really cool story from a convention I just went to in December. I'm really proud of this. It's actually kind of evil what I did, but I was at a convention with. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah!
I was at a convention with Vic Mignogna. Some of you guys are like, ah! So I was at a con with Vic Mignogna, and he was a guest alongside me. And I was doing Q&As throughout the weekend. And I don't know how it became a running thing, but have you guys ever played Final Fantasy X?
Yes!
There we go. Okay. But there's a certain scene in Final Fantasy X involving laughing. Essentially, every time I would tell a really bad joke, the entire crowd would just be like, ah, ha, 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 ha. It was really kind of scary. But the really great part is that I kept it going. I kept feeding them, and it got bigger and bigger, to the point that I said on one of my panels, if you guys would do me a huge favor, and when Vic Mignogna tries to say something funny on one of his Q&As, if you would do that to him, and tell me what the reaction is, that would be great. They didn't do it until the last day of the convention, when all the guests were at the same panel, and I was on the far end of the table, and Vic had sat down like to greet the crowd, and the panel itself was taking place in like an auditorium, like in an assembly hall. It felt like basically like a classroom. Like a lecture hall, basically. And Vic sits down and he goes, "Okay, class, if you can turn in your textbooks to page 101, I'll teach you guys about chemistry." And he starts doing this whole thing where he's pretending to be a teacher. And the crowd just sort of looks at him and goes, "Ah, ha, 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 ha." And his reaction is sort of like, he's like, "What have I done? What have I unleashed?" It was probably the most terrifying moment of his life. Because they all did it in unison. I completely forgot that I'd asked them to do that. So I was sort of up the corner being like, oh. Oh God, he's going to kill me if he finds out that I told him. So please don't tell Vic that that was me. Oh, I'd appreciate that. But this is basically, I have 3 panels this weekend. Yesterday I tried to do an abridged retrospective where I was going to show a bunch of really old videos that I did. Unfortunately, due to some technical limitations, I wasn't able to show all the videos. But I'm going to show one of them that I didn't get to show at the top end of the panel. And then I'm going to show you guys the preview of the new episode that I made at the end of the panel. So there's something worth sticking around for. If you're interested as well, tomorrow morning I have a panel at 11 a.m. which I'm calling Voice Duels, where you guys, I believe it's in this room, you guys will be able to take part. I have a number of scripts saved, and I'm going to have you guys competing against each other. Each of you will choose a voice, and you'll have to read from the script using the voice that you've chosen, and the audience gets to decide who did the performance best. So you could have a really, really goofy voice, but you could have this really heart-wrenching, like, Aerys's death scene from Final Fantasy VII. What is this pain? Or you can even just have, Who knows, it's the luck of the draw. And you guys get to compete against each other for prizes, and it'll be just a lot of fun. It's basically, I love doing silly voices, and I'd like to hear what you guys can do with these silly voices. So if you feel like taking part, come to the panel at 11 a.m. and I'd appreciate your support. But in the meantime, I'd really like to show you guys this video that I wanted to show yesterday. It's not one of mine, but it's a very, very close friend of mine, and he just released it. And it's one of the funniest Abridged Series videos I personally have ever seen. Do you guys like Pokemon? Yeah! This guy, One Kids, and his friends Jesse and Jeremy. Yes, right? He just released the episode where Ash gets the, Thunderstone? It's a really good episode, and hey, thank you so much. And I'd like to show you guys, it's just about 9 minutes long, and then we'll do a Q&A, and then we'll show the new episode, or what I finished of it. But I hope you guys enjoy it. I really like it. And yeah, here we go. This is Pokemon Bridge, for those of you who are curious, done by the Elite 3, and if you want to find their channel, I believe it's One Kids Entertainment on YouTube. It's very, very fun. Trio. Hey! I really do recommend their Abridged Series, it's really good. But hey, we have about 20 minutes for Q&A, and then I'm going to show you the preview of my new episode, which is also good. So if you guys have any questions, they deserve an award! That's okay. If you guys have any questions about literally anything, doesn't have to relate to abridging, can relate to just life, the universe, video games, everything. 42, absolutely. Right here on the front row. Yes? Oh my god, you just asked, is it possible to create a completely original anime using nothing but abridged jokes? It isn't even possible to make an original abridged series using nothing but abridged jokes. So I would struggle to make an original anime. I don't know, you mean like animating it from scratch or something?
Technically, you know, it's not based off any other...
If it's not based on any other story. I don't know how that would work, because like, I mean, ultimately an abridged joke is just a joke that features in an abridged series. So do you mean like lines that have already been written for a different show, or
Just
out there stupidness? I mean, ultimately, if you do like an original show with just really like abridged style humor, that's just an original script. Like a lot of people diss fan fiction, and frankly, I love fan fiction. I write fan fiction, and fan fiction is perfectly legitimate writing. If you took these characters' names and made them original characters and changed the location and the setting and the gimmick and everything, you would have an original story. So really, I see 50 Shades of Grey, that's right. But really, I would look at I actually believe that was one of the critics' reviews of the book. It was just, It deserves it, no it doesn't. 50 Shades of Grey Waters from the Dragon Age cosplay. That was too good to be a teeter slap, I'm sorry. That was too well acted. But yeah, I think if you did something like that, it would be just an original cartoon. It would be an original show. So yeah, it is possible to do an original piece of work with abridged style humor. I do believe that. I do genuinely believe that. Way at the back with the blonde hair there.
What's the weirdest line requested for you to...
What's the weirdest what, sir?
Line.
The weirdest line I've ever had to say?
Requested.
Oh, weirdest question?
Weirdest line requested.
Line requested. Okay. No. Vagina isn't that weird. Don't quote me on that. Weirdest line I've ever had. I mean, I was requested to read dialogue from 50 Shades of Grey. We don't have a copy of 50 Shades of Grey, so I can't do it. Do you have a copy of 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh my!
Here's the other issue. It's not an 18+ panel, so I couldn't get away with it if I tried. I will say though that I'm in this game coming out called Icebound.
Icepound?
Ice. Icepound. Oh dear. Speaking of fan fiction. I'm in this game called Icebound, and I play the main character, and I get to... And I've never been a main character in anything like serious before, so this was a new experience for me. And I had so much dialogue, and occasionally there's parts in this game where you get to choose dialogue and like you get to flirt with the other characters. And I'm not very good at flirting with people in real life, so having to... Yeah. So,
What have you done?
some weird cult meeting, I don't know. I'm not very good at flirting with people who are like, ask my wife, and I had to read this dialogue in the game, and some of it was really strange. One of the characters I flirt with is like this like beast creature, and she's got horns, so it's all like flirting with a Homestuck character. And I had to be like, I want to lick your horns up and down. And make it sound good. So that was weird. But the best part was I still had the script in my email when I went to a convention like 2 months ago. And there's a sex scene in there.
Oh my!
Or at least the lead up to a sex scene where they get undressed, and it's very heavily implied that my character and this other character have sex.
When's this game coming out?
When is it coming out? I don't know, but when I know, I will tell you. But I had the script in my email, and I got it up on the screen, and I read it, and I said, okay, which character should I voice this as? And like 90% of the room was like, Kaiba! 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 I was like, okay, one of them will be Kaiba. And then in the back, I heard one voice go, Tristan! And I'm like, okay, Kaiba and Tristan are gonna have sex. But I didn't think, and I gave Kaiba the woman's role. I didn't realize. And there's a scene where Kaiba undresses and reveals this revealing lingerie. And I had to make it sexy. So, Kaiba on his own, I personally don't know, but he's not very sexy, and maybe he is, I don't know. But in that scene with him wearing women's underwear, it was hard to keep a straight face. That was probably one of the weirdest things I've ever had to read. Someone from this side, the gentleman right here.
Alright, so any huge regrets about internet fame?
Any huge regrets about internet
What's your
fame?
biggest regret?
No, you see, I don't believe that I have any regrets about this. I mean, negative things have happened as a result of becoming, a thing on the internet. But honestly, what?
4 kids.
What?
4 kids.
4 kids? No, what? What's nothing to do with me being famous on the internet? Speaking of 4 kids, I went to see the Bonds Beyond Time movie live in a cinema when it first came out, like the original release of the dubbed movie, and I was in a packed theater of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged fans, and the logos for all of the companies that worked on it came up on the screen, and it's like TV Tokyo, and everyone's just sort of quiet and getting excited for the movie, and then it's like another logo and another logo, and then the 4 Kids logo comes on the screen, and everyone in the room, like hundreds of people, just went boom, and I just sort of shrank down in my seat. But yes, no regrets, absolutely no regrets, none whatsoever, because honestly, if I hadn't gotten to do this, and if you guys hadn't cared as much as you did, I wouldn't have met the woman that I'm married to. I wouldn't have met several of my best friends, including Team 4-Star, who were the groomsmen at my wedding. And I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be talking to you guys, and I do mean it when I say, the fans at this convention, this weekend, have been some of the most generous and giving fans I've ever met. And I don't want to seem like I'm blowing smoke up your ass. Because I'm legit. There was a fan, Matt, who came to me, and he saw on Twitter, there he is right there, thank you, man. He came to me in my booth, because I have a booth in the dealer's room, by the way. I have to plug that. But he came to me, he'd seen on Twitter that I really wanted to get Danganronpa, or however you say it, the Trigger Happy on the Vita, and I didn't know if I was going to have enough money to get it when I went home, and he gave me his copy of the game. And like, legitimately, that's so moving to me, because that's why I do what I do, is I try and give something of myself to you guys, and the fact that you care enough to come to these shows and talk to me and see me, or even just, say hey and say that you enjoy the videos, or you enjoyed watching them when you watched them before, is the biggest compliment to me, and it's changed my life for the better, and I hope that I've done even the slightest bit of good for you guys. I really do mean that. I really do. So no regrets whatsoever, in my opinion. In the red, the very, very red, all the daddies.
2 questions. First of all, how was it cuddling with Nostalgia Critic?
Oh, it was wonderful. I remember it, so he doesn't have to. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We filmed that like a week ago. It's really weird to get questions about that when it's so recently in my memory. It used to be in, I did the 200th episode with him where I beat him to death with a baseball bat.
Ponyo!
Ponyo, that's right. And I really enjoyed filming that. And ever since doing that, I always got a question on my panels about what was it like bludgeoning the nostalgia critic to death. And now I guess it's evolved into what was it like cuddling in bed with a nostalgia critic. Which I had a lot of fun doing it. We were in his hotel room for about half an hour shooting that scene. There's a theme going through this panel. The fan fiction's going to get written by the time I get back. I mean, I'll be honest, he's a nice guy, and I could probably picture myself cuddling with him if I were so inclined, but he's a really cool guy. He's very charismatic, and I love talking to him and picking his brain about movies, so it was a huge honor to get to be in a compromising position. Your second question.
And on an incredibly related note...
Incredibly related?
Have you ever read fan fiction involving yourself?
Oh. I'm an author. Does somebody have one with them? What? I have written... No.
Good night, everybody.
Everyone's written self-insert. It's okay.
I've read fan fiction about myself. And one of them in particular was about me, shipping me with the Slender Man. Which was about as weird as it sounds. Tentacles were involved in...
I know this.
Hey guys! It was interesting. I mean, I don't know if there are people who ship me in general with other things. I like to think they ship me with my wife. What's that?
He does.
You ship? Oh, thank you. She is my OTP. What? Miller time. Yeah, for those of you who are interested, if you want to ask my wife questions about me and my life and potentially reading fan fiction involving me, she has a panel, I believe, in this room at midnight, and she's really, really entertaining, really, really funny, and she's a voice actress and she's a professional lady, but she's also really, 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 really funny, and I love her so much. I really do. So please, if you want to come to her panel, I do suggest it. But I haven't read much fan fiction involving me, just the one or two, I think. I'm sure there's stuff out there, but I'm really afraid. Let's do somebody over on the left-hand side. In the green, on the front row. Any plans to work with Team 4-Star? No, I hate those guys. No, I don't really get to plan to work with them, unfortunately. Oh, no, having said that, I am definitely going to work with them in the Naruto spoof series some more. I love the work that they do in that. Takahata 11 plays the rower. The rower! The greatest character in any Abridged series. Billany plays YGOTAS and Kaizeneko plays Haku, and they do a great job. They really enjoy doing that. As far as working with them on their shows, I don't know if I'm going to be in Attack on Titan Abridged anymore, because Thomas just... I think it got me! It definitely got me. Thank you so much. But I'm sure I might pop up in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I'm still the narrator, I'm still telling the story. And Helsing, I play a very grumpy old man in that show. And I'm sure that they have me in mind for a bunch of other things. So I wouldn't rule it out, certainly. I really do love working with those guys. Consummate professionals, absolutely. Somebody else. In the Attack on Titan cosplay toward the left-hand side. Have I ever thought about abridging Final Fantasy? Well, I'll show you an abridged Final Fantasy 13. What?
Just butt sex.
Just butt sex. Did I play the same game as you?
Not the porn version.
What?
It's not 18, that's okay.
Deleted cutscenes.
Slenderman!
I've never considered doing a Final Fantasy abridged, although there are video games I would like to abridge. Metal Gear Solid could do with some abridging. Not because I don't like it, I love it, but it kind of drags a little bit. Although I've heard the new game is like 2 hours long, so maybe they did it for me, I don't know. Metal Gear Rising, I haven't played it. I own it, but I haven't played it yet. I'd love to abridge Killer 7, that's one of my favourite games. I love that game. Majora's Mask, I'd love to do it. My favourite Zelda game. Yeah! What other games would be good abridged? Mass Effect, Dragon Age, oh they've got Fallout, I love Fallout.
Skyrim.
You know what, I really want to do a Let's Play of Elder Scrolls now. I want to do a Skyrim Let's Play. I've decided that's the next thing on my agenda, because I've been playing it, and I'm kind of balls deep into the Elder Scrolls lore right now. And I'm really enjoying it. Do it as Bakura. We'll see. Yes. Or Tristan. I do like, my voice would give me super strength in Skyrim, it's true. Somebody from the middle. Or was somebody, the gentleman with the, what is that? Is that a thing on your head?
It's a hat.
It's a hat, there we go. That thing that's on your head. Go on, sorry.
You know, you've taken Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
I did, yes.
So many episodes that you're up to, what, 60 now?
Yes, this one I'll be showing you is 61.
Okay, so like you're getting pretty close to the end at this point, right?
There's about 7 card games left, which means about 1,000 episodes.
Card
So
games
go.
in space.
Just kind of approaching, well, getting closer to the end, how much pressure do you feel having to end it right?
Oh. I mean, honestly, it's been such a huge part of my life that it is a big deal to me that I give it a good ending, and it's an important part of my. It's important to me that I do end it and give it a decisive ending, because a lot of people have suggested to me just stopping, you know, while I'm ahead and just sort of, because it's taken me so long to get through season 3, and I feel really bad about that. That people have suggested, you know, just stop after season 3 and just, you know, give it a little, you know, footnote at the end saying this is what happens to the characters, and I don't want to do that, because at this point. I've been on this journey with these guys, and I've watched Yu-Gi-Oh! I love Yu-Gi-Oh! But I've not seen the story told with these versions of the characters, and I want to know what happens to them, you know? And it sounds so pretentious to say that, but I really care about these guys. They're a part of me now. Even Marek he is in the back of my mind all the time. Thief shipping, yes. I really want to give it a good send-off, and I have some ideas, and I'm mulling things around as to how I'm going to do the final episode. Because obviously Yugi finally beats Yami, which is going to be... Spoiler! Oh!
The fandom killed
Yu-Gi-Oh!
What's his name?
He's been there 10 years! Statute of limitations.
The fandom killer strikes again.
Fandom killer, that's right. Yugi beats Yami. And Yami's obviously going to have his soul crushed by the fact that he lost to Yugi, of all people, who has never actually really played the game without help. So this is the only situation where he's actually never had help and he's beaten the guy. So it's... What's that? When?
The one time?
Yugi beat Kaiba on his own? What are we talking about? What? That's right, no, you're right. Oh, he beat Bandit Keith without Yami's help, that's true.
Episode 22.
Yami was in the puzzle being like, no, don't play that card, you idiot. Wait, did he technically beat him? And didn't finish. Thank you. It was a no contest, sir. Don't question me on my Yu-Gi-Oh! I know nothing about it. I'm more than you. But it is a big deal to me that I end it well, and I have some ideas, and hopefully I'll get there before I'm 50. But here's hope. Here's hope. We have time for about 5 more minutes of questions. I forgot your name, the Homestuck character.
I'm Zephyr, but
Yes.
I promise this will be PG-13 despite how it's going to sound.
Well, I accidentally let some cuss words slip in that video, so...
Have you, this is a two-parter, have you
Okay.
ever heard of or seen the hentai that Dan Green actually voiced in?
Have I ever seen the hentai that Dan Green voiced in?
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the second question?
And have you ever considered
thought you were going to say, have you ever considered abridging it?
In one of the scenes, you know, they're going at it, and he goes...
What?
They're going at it.
Yes, they're going at it.
And he goes, no, cluck like a
Cluck
chicken.
like a chicken, yeah. I know that scene. I'm meeting Dan Green at MTAC this year. I'm really bloody excited because it's his first anime convention in the West, apparently. And unfortunately, he has to deal with the fact that I'll be there as well, so I feel bad for him in that sense.
Tennessee.
It is in Tennessee. It's very exciting. Wait, no, when I say the West, I mean the West of the world. Not the East. And I really kind of want to ask him if he ever feels willing to say a single line. I want him to say "cluck like a chicken." I won't say what it's for.
Would you ever make Yami say it?
Would I ever make Yami say it? Hell yeah! Yeah. I think I had him say it one time. Yeah, but I would love to do more. I would love to abridge a hentai actually. It'd be great though, because basically you just have to remove all the dirty parts and be like, oh no, I fell over, you know?
Please.
I would watch.
Please say cluck like a chicken in Yami's voice.
Yes.
Cluck like a chicken. Mind cluck. Anyway.
And now Merrick.
And now Merrick.
Well, make Merrick cluck.
Make Merrick cluck. This panel took a weird turn. This is what happens in your fan fiction. It's not quite as passionate as it was in the hentai. We have time for about 2 more minutes worth of questions. With the red hair in the middle of the middle room. In the middle, yes.
Whenever you do finally end Yu-Gi-Oh, what is the next thing that you think that you would abridge?
If I finally end Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, what would be the next thing I read? Honestly, I don't want to keep doing Abridged Series the rest of my life, and I hate to say that, but I am trying to become a writer, and I'm trying to actually do professional voiceover. I'm writing a book right now. I've been cast in several projects, and I'm really loving that. I'm really passionate about those things. And abridging, while I hate to say it, it does tend to get in the way of my professional work. I love doing it, it's a great hobby, and I really do care about the show and the fans and everything. But if I would, the reason I'm so slow with releases is because I do it when I have free time, and I very rarely have that, unfortunately. But if I were to do another Abridged series, and whether it would be following this one or whether it would be at the same time, it's a series I've loved for a long time, since I first started watching anime. I've always wanted to do a Tenchi Muyo Abridged. Yeah. And I have some ideas, and I've started casting it in my head while I'm thinking about it. But I don't want to say anything set in stone. But I would kill to do a Tenchi Muyo Abridged, a really good one.
I would kill to watch you, dude.
Please don't. All right. We have time. No, don't start that. People already think it's a cult meeting from the laughing, okay? We don't need that. No. Oh my god. Okay, we've got about time for... I'm going to give it a couple more questions. Right here in the white and the logo. I don't know what that is, sorry.
Okay, have you ever, would you consider doing Merrick and Bakura singing, do you want to build a snowman?
What? What? Do you want to kill the Pharaoh? His pops on the floor. I don't know the rest of the song. I'd love to do a Frozen parody. Although I kind of want to do Let It Go. Only I want to be like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Can't play the cards anymore. Something like that. Okay. Do it. I'm not very good at doing it off the cuff, but I'll definitely think about it. It is a great idea. I do like it. We have time for one more. Who has a really good question? Oh gosh, I feel bad now. No, mine's terrible. Right here, we'll do this one right here with the Okami show.
Have you ever been recording or filming something and something ridiculous, or you just got so caught up in the lines that you just had to stop for a minute and just laugh and roll around on the floor?
There's limited space in my closet, otherwise I would roll around. But have I ever been recording something so ridiculous, aside from the sex scene that I was talking about earlier, where I had to stop?
Or something like unexpected happening, you're just like, what is even, I can't even anymore.
Something unexpected. I mean, there are times when I'm recording and I'll just like, because you drink a lot of water while you're recording, and I tend to belch sometimes while I'm doing dialogue, and I'll just stay in character after it happens. I'll be like, "Ow, I ate a dog too fast," or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something really ridiculous that happened while recording. I don't know. It tends to be a very boring process. There was one time when I was recording for a documentary, like a legit. I was recording for a documentary about Egypt, actually. And there is a documentary about Egypt floating around that is narrated by Little Kuriboh. There's going to be some school kid somewhere watching the thing being like, "That's the guy who does the voices. He says something about touching butts with their butts. I wrote fan fiction about that guy." But I was recording the documentary, and there's like what they make you do when you're narrating something like that is they just make you they let you keep going until you mess up, and then when you stop, they'll take it back to the last place where you know what the last paragraph was. And I'd been recording for 3 pages, and there was a big break in the dialogue, and then it just showed you like footage of people like making clay pots, and so I just started going, "Whoa, my love, my darling, I've hungered for." Egypt was a place where I guess that was kind of ridiculous. Let's do one more question, because I'm really enjoying this. Right here in the front, in the second row.
All right. Would you be willing, or have you ever thought about doing one of the other parts of Yu-Gi-Oh, like the Atlantis saga, or when they go into the back in time to Egypt?
Would I? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do all of the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm totally going to do the Atlantis stuff.
Season 4 stuff! Woo!
Darts is going to be a lot of fun because Tom is going to. I'm going to do the whole thing all the way to the end. Let's do another question because that was a relatively easy one. Right here. Last question. Yes.
So, have you ever considered doing any live action or anything like that? Because I know the Marble Hornet guys.
That's great.
And, you know, I wasn't going to say anything, but apparently you/Slenderman is kind of a thing.
I'm good friends with the Marble Hornets guys, and I kind of wish I could do something with it. They're hilarious. Those guys are really funny. As far as live action goes, I've always wanted to do a live action Yu-Gi-Oh series, like an actual fan project. I've always wanted to do like a almost semi-big budget like Yu-Gi-Oh.
He should be all the characters.
What? Are you guys waving at me? Oh, sorry. I've always wanted to. I don't want to be in it. I want to direct it. I want to be behind the scenes, and I'd love to do like a trailer for a fake Yu-Gi-Oh movie with Bakura taking guys out and Duelist Kingdom and Kaiba having a meeting, staring in the window, and just really legit gritty stuff. But people wouldn't be able to take it seriously if I was actually in it. Is the problem? What would the hair budget be? Oh my god! Most expensive hair budget of all time for any movie.
Play all the characters.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, all the
Anyway,
characters.
we have just about enough time, I believe, to show this preview of my episode. It's 7 minutes long. I do apologize for keeping you guys if I've gone over my time, but I'm really excited to show you guys this. There's one thing you guys have to allow me this one problem. I've been working on it really hard, but I haven't had time to put any sound effects in. So it's all dialed. Remember back in the day when I made my show and there were no sound effects or music?
Yes.
It's going to be like that. It's going to pretend it's like a nostalgia thing. Okay? It's not me being lazy. It's a tribute.
You're taking it back to its roots.
So if you guys can just pretend that there's sound effects there. It's mostly just dialogue, but there are times when you'll see that there's supposed to be monster attack sounds and everything. But hopefully you guys still enjoy it. I think it's pretty funny. It's I'll give you guys some setup in case you forgot what the last episode was. Joey was just defeated by Kaiba, and Yami Merrick is at the top of the duel tower, and he's ready to face Yami in the final battle city.
Can you make sound effects?
I don't want to ruin the dialogue by making my terrible sound effects. I'm sorry, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm sorry, I worked really hard on it so you guys can see it, and I want you to hear the dialogue, so I don't want to talk over it. Please do enjoy.
By the time you finish watching this episode, our YouTube account will probably be taken down.
In the crowd, and the panel itself was taking place in like an auditorium, like in an assembly hall. It felt like basically like a classroom, and like a lecture hall basically. And Vic sits down. And he goes, "Okay, class, if you can turn in your textbooks to page 101, I'll teach you guys about chemistry." And he starts doing this whole thing where he's pretending to be a teacher, and the crowd just sort of looks at him and goes, and his reaction is sort of like, he's like, "What have I done? What have I unleashed?" It was probably the most terrifying moment of his life. Because they all did it in unison. I'd completely forgotten that I'd asked them to do that. So I was sort of up in the corner being like, oh. Oh God, he's gonna kill me if he finds out that I told him. So please don't tell Vic that that was me. Oh, I'd appreciate that. But this is basically, I have 3 panels this weekend. Yesterday I tried to do an abridged retrospective where I was going to show a bunch of really old videos that I did. Unfortunately, due to some technical limitations, I wasn't able to show all the videos. But I'm going to show one of them that I didn't get to show at the top end of the panel. And then I'm going to show you guys the preview. It's actually kind of evil what I did. But I was at a convention with, can you guys hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah!
I was at a convention with Vic Mignogna. Some of you guys are like, ah! So I was at a con with Vic Mignogna, and he was a guest alongside me. And I was doing Q&As throughout the weekend. And I don't know how it became a running thing, but have you guys ever played Final Fantasy X?
Yes!
There we go. Okay. But there's a certain scene in Final Fantasy X involving laughing. Essentially, every time I would tell a really bad joke, the entire crowd would just be like, ah, ha, 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 ha. It was really kind of scary. But the really great part is that I kept it going. I kept feeding them. And it got bigger and bigger, to the point that I said on one of my panels, if you guys would do me a huge favor, and when Vic Mignogna tries to say something funny on one of his Q&As, if you would do that to him, and tell me what the reaction is, that would be great. They didn't do it until the last day of the convention, when all the guests were at the same panel, and I was on the far end of the table, and Vic had sat down like to greet. Alright, I'm gonna get up here. Because you guys can't see me down there. Alright, so, I really do appreciate you guys coming. I realize there's an awesome Miku concert going on right now, and I'm not quite as cute as her. But
Yes, you are!
maybe if I was a real Kuriboh, there'd be competition, but not really. I want to share with you guys a really cool story from a convention I just went to in December. I'm really proud of this.